Tensions are rising as we await the start of the MotoAmerica AMA FIM North American Road Race Championship final round of 2021. It's MotoAmerica Superbikes at Alabama from Barber Motorsports Park. And our only championship that has yet to be decided here in MotoAmerica is SportbikeTrackGear.com Junior Cup. Hi everyone, I'm Greg White sitting alongside two-time champ Jason Pridmore. And Jason, it has been an entertaining season. And there are not many points between first and second in this championship.
No, and Ty Scott doing this with 2 rounds to go, what he did at Jersey by going out and winning and dominating both races there has put himself in a nice position. The thing is, Greg, is when you have a championship that comes down to the wire, the last thing you want to do is have a race that could be raining or something that the conditions can really do. But Ty Scott looks ready for any conditions right now. He was good this morning in the wet.
So Jay, looking at the way Tyler Scott's been racing at Jersey, the big thing is he checked out, and we haven't seen a lot of that this season at all.
No, he checked out pretty good, 2.5 seconds in the first race, and then Gus Rodeo actually did a really nice job staying with him, even though he got a penalty at the start. He was going to end up finishing second, was Gus Rodeo, but this guy was just too good all the way through the weekend.
In the rhythm. This young man, 15 years old, he's having a great season, and he has a substantial points lead.
We have a 30-point lead coming into this weekend at Barber Motorsports Park, and I feel great with the bike this morning. We had incredible pace, and yeah, definitely it's really exciting coming into this race because there's a championship on the line, and I have a 30-point lead going into this weekend, so it definitely boosted my confidence at the beginning. And I had an incredible pace yesterday, and I'm really excited for the race, and hopefully we can wrap it up.
For Ben Gloddy to keep his hopes alive, he needs to score 6 or more on Ty Scott. Can he get it done?
And much like what we saw earlier, Roger Hayden, there's several guys in this class that can win this race, and if you're Ty Scott, you have the championship there in front of you. I don't know that we're going to see him push, but then again, if I'm Ty Scott, I want to be away from that mess.
Yeah, you want to try to get away, not get caught up in somebody else's mess. But for him, the last thing,
Roger, that was so funny. You grabbed the wrong microphone. I could hear you.
But for him, when you have the championship lead like this, like Tyler Scott, he's not going to want to see the rain for Ben Gloddy. He's going to want to see this rain because he thinks something else can happen. Some other guys could be toward the front and try to get some points back. When you're a guy like Tyler Scott, though, the last thing he wanted to see was this rain today.
And Ty looked like he was very adept at the wet conditions. I think he's going to be just fine out there. Kolstad, Rodeo, LeMandry, Max Van. Could this be the time? We're going to see that new face up front. Which guy's going to be the one that steps up?
Welcome back to Barber Motorsports Park here in Birmingham, Alabama. And Jason Pridmore, as we look at the young talent that SportbikeTrackGear.com Junior Cup is producing, definitely one athlete that's turned our head who is starting to advance through the ranks is Kayla Yaakov, the number 31. She's had quite a season so far this year.
Yeah, she's been able to go race all over the world, and that's been really to her benefit. And she's steadily just getting better and better and racing with new groups of riders each weekend. You can see her at Jersey. She was in 2 really big scraps, but she's holding her own amazing, and she's had a really good year, Greg.
She certainly has, and she's 14 years old, and our very own Hannah Lopa caught up with her.
Greg, STG Junior Cup rookie Kayla Yaakov is certainly a star on the rise. We have seen her make steady progress since she entered our series earlier in the season. Kayla, getting really close to cracking that top 5. What's it going to take to do that this weekend?
It's not easy, and you've seen it in the past. We've come so close to it. So knowing this track this weekend, I have a really good feeling about it, and hopefully the momentum from the last few rounds I've had can carry into this, and I'd love a top 5, if not more.
Now, you've been riding quite a bit around the world, I'm sure, in all kinds of different weather. The weather here this weekend is looking a little bit iffy. If there is some inclement weather, does that change anything for you?
I mean, I'd like to say I'm a good wet weather rider. I love the mixed conditions. So either way, I'm excited for it, and we're looking to really end the year on a good note.
Well, best of luck out there. And Greg, we're going to be keeping our eye on the number 31 all weekend long.
Yeah. 100%. I love the confidence, too, that Kayla has,
So
Jason.
great.
It's awesome. Let's take a look at Barber Motorsports Park.
Yeah, she's not scared at all, and I love that. These little 400s, when they get going around here, Greg, in our Junior Cup, they're going to go down into turn 1. You'll be able to see a little bit of drafting here on these bikes. Through turn 2, and down that big steep hill in 3, up over 4, wide open down into Charlotte's Web. Then they really get back down over to turn 11. You'll see some drafting from 11 down into 12. Big, long right-hander there, 14 through 16. Then a flip back to 17, a very cambered left-hand corner onto that front straightaway.
So a good look at Barber Motorsports Park. Hey, when we come back, what about this guy? Number 96, Gus Rodeo. He's got a couple podiums. He's trying to keep it alive and hold on to third in the championship.
So before we send it over the final time before they get to the race here in the SportbikeTrackGear.com Juniors, I'm Robbie Floyd with Roger Hayden. I'm looking at the names up there, and you said there's somebody deep in that field. We've seen it a couple of races now. There's somebody deep in that field. Is there one person, let's say, outside the top 8 or 9?
Well, I think you just, look at a guy like Chase Black or Avery Dreyer, just go for it. This is your opportunity to come from the back. You only got, don't have a lot of laps to do it with only 7 laps, but we'll see.
I think the guy right there, I think Hot Tub David Kolstad. I think if he wins this bad boy, he's saying, hey, guys, we're going to the Hot Tub.
He's one of the guys, too, that's really aggressive, too. So you think these conditions would suit his style. Really good aggressive, makes really good, strong passes. So this would be conditions I would see that he would like.
Another guy to look for, the 62. You'll see him sneak in the picture. Joe Lamandry Jr. I think he just has that attitude, like almost sometimes I got to have it right now as well. I think he can get aggressive on that black and yellow number 62. I think he's going to be the one that could kind of battle it out on the Boss Racing entry.
Kolstad was fastest this morning in qualifying 2 in the wet by quite a bit. So you're right. He could be a guy that's going to be a player.
And Roger, you know where they're going. If he wins this thing, ladies, as he said that one time with the podium finish, heading back to the hot tub. That is still the quote of the year. Tyler Scott, David Kolstad on that front row, but we know you got to stay there.
Today's STG Junior Cup coverage is sponsored by Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car or motorcycle insurance. By SportbikeTrackGear.com, the motorcycle apparel and parts specialists. And by Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series.
All right, it's time to get racing. So here's the starting grid. Tyler Scott on pole, David Kolstad, and Gus Rodeo.
Yep, then we got Lamandry Jr., Max Van, and Gloddy just there on row 2. Row 3 is going to be Davis, Black, Roach, Yaakov, Bickney's, and Humphreys a little further back. Medina, Dreyer, Vandal, Essman, Owen Williams, and Desiree Caldwell. And then we have Lawson and Ricci on the back there, Greg. So championship implications in this race for Ben Gloddy. He's got to do whatever he can to get on the back of Tyler Scott early.
A very wet racetrack beats SportbikeTrackGear.com Junior Cup. After a superbike race, when it was pouring rain, it has settled down with the rain, but the track is soaked. Full rain tires on these bikes. We're off and away racing, and it looks like Kolstad is going to get the launch. So into turn 1 we go under very wet conditions, and who's going to be able to hold on the bike? You can see Tyler Scott. Not quite the corner speed we normally see from Scott.
Well, Dave Kolstad's from the Pacific Northwest, so he's probably ridden in these kind of conditions a lot. We've never seen him stand on the top step. We've seen him on the podium a lot. This is a good opportunity for him in these tricky conditions. He's got a nice jump on the pack. As you can see, he's already opened up the smallest gap over Ty Scott. Gus Rodeo second, Gloddy third.
So David Kolstad leading the way and showing what is possible on these Dunlop Rain tires. As we stream in. A lot of young riders in this field, Jason.
Oh, Kolstad just got sideways on the exit there of Charlotte's Web as they head down now towards Museum Corner.
This is where it's been very tricky in the wet, this Museum Corner. As they come up, some riders going to choose to go over the curb. I like what Kolstad did there because he knows the speed. He doesn't really need to jump the curb, but he's a little wide exiting the corner.
Yeah, but Greg, these guys run a little bit different lines than what we see from some of our other classes in the sense that they open up their exits a lot more because they roll through the middle of the corner. Now, this is another little tricky section where we have seen some standing water in the past over the last couple of hours, and it looks like most of everybody's going to make it through there nicely.
Jason, David Kolstad was able to get his knee down in the pouring rain in qualifying 2 this morning. That's just a testament of how good these Dunlop rains are, especially on this new track surface. David was really excited for this rain race. His very first ever race was in the rain. I mean, you mentioned growing up in the Pacific Northwest, he sees a lot of rain, so he feels right at home. He was really looking to get the bike set up well for the rain, and he has high hopes for the race. He thinks he has good enough pace to pull away. Tyler Scott's putting some pressure on him right now, but he knows Ben Gloddy is pretty comfortable in the rain as well. But with his flat track upbringing, you know, he's comfortable with the bike moving around under him a little bit here.
Absolutely, and you can already see his eyes looking over to the left, looking for that pit board to see if there's any information he can take in, as it looks like, is this Gus Rodeo? It is. Gus Rodeo. I saw a bike in our background shot go off up in that turn 13 area. And he's going to be picking that bike up. He's okay, which is good to see. And you can see these guys, Greg, they're, for Kolstad right now, it's just a matter of feeling out the conditions, as with everybody else. 7 laps doesn't seem like that much, and they've just got done watching a superbike race that was beyond entertaining and beyond crazy. So they're going to be able to take some of the stuff there and learn from what they saw from some of their bigger bike counterparts. But like I said, they run in a few different spots. Like a lot of our superbike competitors don't quite get out as wide as they do here coming out of Charlotte's Web.
And also these lower, smaller displacement Junior Cup bikes, not as much horsepower as, say, a superbike, which was a very interesting race. You hadn't seen that superbike race. Oh, and what happened was the top 3 in that race, won't give away any race results, all crashed and still finished on the podium. But here in a 7-lap race, there's not enough time to do that, as David Kolstad sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:59.1. Extremely fast, especially for these Junior Cup bikes, because they need to carry corner speed in order to get the lap time.
And how about this? We saw Hannah talking to young Kayla Yaakov, and she's in 5th grade. She said how comfortable she is in these rain conditions. At 14 years old, she already feels comfortable riding around in stuff like this, and that is really neat to see. As you can see, she's closed up on Lemandry and Ben Gloddy. She said she wants to start looking at the top 5 and maybe better. Well, maybe better is right smack in front of her right now, as you can see her on that Barcon Ninja 400 doing the business, catching up to our leaders. So right now, she's got a few people in front of us. If you look at Ty Scott right now, to me, he just looks super comfortable watching things that are going on. Ben Gloddy, his main championship guy, is right behind him now. But our top 5 have literally gone across the line. And guess who's quickest on the track? Kayla Yaakov, fastest lap of the race, Greg, a 56.2 for the young lady there in 5th spot.
So the 14-year-old Yakov trying to close the gap. So close to a podium spot with about 4 3/4 laps to go. What's been interesting is watching Tyler Scott go to school on David Kolstad. This is one of those situations where you kind of say to yourself, if the rider up front can do it, so can I. But the question is, how fast can you go? Down into turn 5 they go. Ty Scott gets it slowed down and loses a little bit of time to Kolstad.
And Greg, Tyler Scott is prepared to battle if he needs to, but he wants to run a smart race and a patient race. He hasn't raced here since he was 11 years old. He has not been back since. He's taking things one step at a time, making small adjustments to get him more comfortable for this race. But overall, he knows ultimately he doesn't need to win the race, despite wanting to win the championship with a win. He just needs to finish in front of Gloddy.
Yeah, and that's the question. How much is he willing to risk? Now, all of a sudden, David Kolstad is starting to break away from the rest of the field. 4.5 laps to go, and Kayla Yaakov coming onto the straightaway with the rear end of the motorcycle spinning up. She'll lose a couple bike lengths on that drive.
Kolstad just, oh no, I just was going to say doing a nice job, and you can see he goes off, Greg, that same place as Rodeo. And I was just saying he's doing a nice job, but that's how quick it happens. And these bikes have no weight to them either, Greg. So, and you can see the corner worker tips over there too. So now we got a leading 4. And Kayla is right in the middle of this action now with Lemandry Jr. in 3rd, who has also done a nice job just kind of keeping his nose a bit clean. Gloddy now knows what he has to do. He's got to beat the guy in front of him if he wants this championship race to go on to tomorrow.
Ben Gloddy comes across the stripe with the fastest lap of the race, now down to a 1:56.1. He just displaced Kayla Yaakov, who last lap by had the fastest lap of the race. So now we're looking at the top 2 bikes with championship implications. For Benjamin Gloddy, if he can turn around and get ahead of his competitor, Tyler Scott, Scott's still going to win this championship because it's 5 points the difference between 1st and 2nd.
Kayla's got a big run right now on Lemandry as they go down into Charlotte's Web. I think she's up underneath him, and she's going to pick him off. She's now up to third, and she is the danger one of this group, and she has got to just keep those wheels going underneath her like she's been doing, Greg. She got a little loose, like you said, out of turn 11, but let's see if she can get in Gloddy's draft.
3.5 laps to go, and Tyler Scott finds himself in the lead, and the battle for second place is raging on, and here's why Tyler Scott is now leading this race. Left part of your screen, Jason.
Kolstad goes into, right off the end of the back straightaway, goes into this left, swings it back over to the right, and Greg, you know what? You're not going to see anything really necessarily wrong. I'm looking to see if he's a little bit wide. I'm looking for any kind of puddle, but the rear of the bike just snaps around on them. I can't really tell you what he could have done a lot differently there. The bike just gets out away from underneath him, and off he goes.
And sometimes that is just the case. And poor David Kolstad had his first win in sight. Tyler Scott now leads the way. He's got to set the pace after seeing what Kolstad was able to do. And this is that accordion effect. So we have Tyler Scott leading the way from his championship rival, Ben Gloddy. And then Kayla Yaakov, the 14-year-old, in third place over Bazooka Joe Lemandry Jr. Jack Roach in fifth. Max Van in sixth. Blake Davis, Humphreys, Black, and Dreyer, your top 10.
I'll tell you where Kayla's really good, and she's coming into the spots where she's going to go through turn 1 here, as you see all the riders through turn 1, up over turn 2. But as they start to accelerate down the bottom here, Greg, of turn 3 up over 4, that's where she was able to get a big run on Lemandry the last lap. She's coming through here, and she's going to be able to draft off Ben Gloddy and get up alongside of him, I believe, when they get down to Charlotte's Web.
Here comes Kayla Yaakov in third place. Is she going to make a pass into second? They're coming down the hill, a very tricky braking spot. She's got a lot of confidence in the front end. The door's open, so all of a sudden Yaakov moves herself into second place. And Ben Gloddy losing another spot.
Incredible.
So the rider on the charge is 14-year-old Kayla Yaakov on that Bart Kahn Racing Kawasaki Ninja. Earlier in this broadcast, she was talking about breaking into the top 5 and maybe more. Maybe more is playing out right now. Still tons of real estate to cover with 2.5 laps to go in this SportbikeTrackGear.com Junior Cup race. And Yaakov is looking like the danger rider right now.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Ty Scott will have, if he has a look, which he probably won't have a look over his shoulders, but if he does, he probably thinks Ben Gloddy's right behind him, and he's going to get a big dose of the 31 in a minute, as I think that she'll try to do the same thing in the exact same spot. She seems to have these guys' numbers over in the turns 2, 3, 4 area, and Ty Scott really just looks in control to me, like he's not really overly pushing the pace. He hasn't really had any reason to go any faster than he's going, but pretty soon he's going to see a ponytail go by him. As you can see, she gets up underneath Ben Gloddy, and that is no easy task to outbrake Ben Gloddy, and she does that going down into Charlotte's Web.
Great move by Kayla Yaakov in second place. Behind the bubble, Ben Gloddy, you can see him kind of peeking up behind the bubble. He's trying to find some clean air to take a look. Gloddy thought about it on the inside, doesn't do it. Scott trying to pull the pin. Yaakov, Jason, she looks very smooth.
Yeah, he got away a little bit through that last section and down the front straight. She might not be close enough this lap, although look at how much she closes in on Ty Scott all day. Look at her pull away from Gloddy, too. So let's see if she has anything. She's coming into her spot. She's got a big run, Greg, on Ty Scott. She's going to go by him.
Is Kayla Yaakov going for the race lead? She's side by side on Scott. Oh, but Scott leaves it very late. Is he going to be able to get it slowed down? Yaakov trying to hold a tight inside line. Scott goes wide. Here comes Yaakov on the gas. They're going to go side by side, but Scott's got a little bit better drive as they head towards the museum.
Yeah, he was able to, once he saw a bike come up alongside of him, he probably had no idea who that was going to be, and he just let off the brakes and was still able to get it turned down into Charlotte's Web. So that tells me that he does have a little bit left if he needs it. So we'll see if Ty Scott now starts to push harder. For Ben Gloddy, he likes to see the fact that Ty Scott's going to get pushed. This could help him in his championship as well. So Ty Scott right now under pressure from 31, Kayla Yaakov.
I like to see some of the different lines that Yaakov's taken. When she came out of museum corner, it was a much tighter line than Scott, but still able to match the drive.
Even in here, you can see Ty Scott just turns it in a little bit early, but he actually gets away ever so slightly, and then Kayla kind of closes back up on him here as they go up over the top of the hill. Now, the big thing, Greg, is if she can try to stay a little bit closer when they come out of the last corner And that way she's not going to have to make up so much ground when they go up over the turn 3-4. I promise you the next time, if she gets that opportunity, she's going to let off the lever as well in order to go back by Ty Scott. As we are going to see the white flag being displayed on the front straightaway. She's got another nice run. Ty Scott is a little bit closer to her this time than he was the last lap. So she's going to have a nice solid run down through turns 2, 3, and 4 again and put herself in position to maybe try to do something there in Charlotte's Web.
Kayla Yaakov trying to hold on to a podium position, trying to reel in Tyler Scott and make a move. This is the section where she's been so strong. Scott, though, with a good run. Up the hill they come. What's Yaakov going to do? Is she going to be close enough to push the issue, or is she going to let off the lever? She's going up the inside. Not close enough. She closes the gap. And I think, Jason, really, if she can get by Scott anywhere on this racetrack, and she's trying to hold that inside line and get a drive, it's going to be up to Scott to decide what he wants to do. Championship on the line for Scott, but a good drive from the number 70, the 15-year-old.
Now Gloddy's got to be a little bit frantic. He wants to get by her, and he's not going to be able to do it because he knows he's got to get in front of the 70 if he wants to see this championship go through to tomorrow. And right now there was no way through. Kayla was very late letting off that brake lever. And she's got another run on Ty Scott as they go now into this turn 10 and 11 section.
A lot of standing water there, though. Really difficult to make the pass under braking. We'll see if Tyler Scott's going to protect the inside line. As they come up to this section, Scott a little wide, Yaakov following. But this is where Scott just lets off the lever, and he's just got so much roll speed.
He just gets in there a little bit earlier and almost takes a little bit of the track and makes it shorter. And the others are making it a tiny bit longer, and he's able to pull that gap that you see.
A couple more corners to go in this final lap. Yaakov trying to hold on to second place now is Scott. Oh, and look at Yaakov. She's got a good run. Is she going to try him up the inside? No. But it's going to be the drag race now to the line as Yaakov trying to find some traction. Here comes Ben Gloddy. So to the line, these four riders come, and it's going to be Tyler Scott who takes victory, and Kayla Yaakov in second spot over Benjamin Gloddy and Joe Lemandry Jr. And for Tyler Scott, Jason, the fastest lap of the race on the last lap of 53.407. Kayla Yaakov, Ben Gloddy, and Joe Lemandry Jr. all set their personal fastest laps of the race on the last lap as Scott towed around those four. Look at the race pace, Jay.
I just felt like the whole race, Ty Scott had a little bit left in him, and he was able to be really good in the spots were important. The last, like, third to fourth sector, he was really good through there. But Kayla Yaakov, maybe with the ride of the year for us in this class, as we see her get herself up on the podium. Lemandry Jr., again, another nice job as well for Ben Gloddy.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to hear from Ty Scott and find out how that race win went and crown a new national champ.
The national championship goes to Ty Scott in the SportbikeTrackGear.com juniors. That KTM rider was the rider to beat this year, just like we've seen years past with Rocco Landers the past couple years, Alex Dumas, the list goes on, and a new name to look out for, and questions of where he may go, what class he may run last year. But the rider of the race had to be Kayla Yaakov for the passes she made going down into 5, and she had the lead, I thought, for a bit. But I thought she was very, very nice to Ty Scott going back up that hill.
You can see the smile through the helmet. Look how happy she is. Her passes into turn 5 started in turn 4. She was up over that rise. A lot of the other guys were letting off a little bit at the top, and it seemed like she was getting a really good run through 4 and setting herself up to be on the inside into turn 5. And those are hard passes.
Yeah.
Whenever you're taking off some real estate like that, holding your line is not easy.
Each time you would see it or her coming out of that 4, you're going like, dude, she's pinned. She's not backing off coming over that crest. And we saw a lot of people down there in that bottom section having issues today. She had no problems.
No problem. And also, Tyler Scott, even from the beginning, looked like he had things under control. He looked like he was going slow in the parts of the track where we've seen a lot of accidents today. He looked like he could go through there a lot faster, and he did that on the last lap.
I thought maybe that sweeping right-hand turn, the area just around where they're at right now, he was opening the door several times. That last lap, he took that lower line. He was going to make them go wide, but it was decided before then.
Yeah, and he's a smart racer anyways. He knows not to leave the door open there, and he always puts himself, we talk about it all the time, he always puts himself in the right spot. He has all year, and he did that today. But I'm so happy for for Kayla. We got to hang out with her for a day last year, riding the old volleys, and she's a great young lady, and she's got a bright future in the sport. What she's doing is not easy. Going back and forth from Europe every other weekend, switching from a Yamaha to a Kawasaki each weekend, and actually she didn't even know if she was going to come here this weekend because she was going to go do the R3 Cup.
Well, she wasn't able to start the year with us, right? I mean, she was an Ovale rider last year. She turned 14, and that is old enough to race in the Junior Cup. Some celebration down there, and it's got to feel like a victory, although it's not. It's her first podium, and she almost takes it to the top of the box, and she had a legitimate shot. I think when Ty Scott saw somebody pull underneath, he might have thought Ben or he might have thought Joe, but when he was Kayla, he's like, wow, okay, I better do something. But when he goes back and watch that race, he's going to see he was not the only one that she dove underneath.
No, and I think when the guys are going to go back and watch his tape, they're probably going to see what she's doing over turn 4 because she was making up so much time through there.
What a run. Looks like they have championship shirts. I'm sure Chris Fillmore's probably already had some printed up. And there's the champ in the background. Hey, speaking of, there you go, the 2021 Junior Cup champion, MotoAmerica, and KTM winning a championship too. I got to point that out. It wasn't a Kawasaki like we've seen. There were a couple of Yamahas in there. The lone KTM dominated this year.
Yeah, he did. It was, the rider to beat, especially toward the end of the year. And a lot of the other races, though, I give Ben Gloddy some credit. He might not have been there in practice and qualifying, but during the races, he could step up and, give Tyler Scott a run for his money. And it's going to be interesting to see what Tyler does next year.
And with Ben, the Landers Racing Kawasaki, he was in every single race there. And Kayla still didn't even have her helmet off. She'd just been shaking hands, hugging, doing everything else. Hey, get up there. We want to see that smiling face.
When you're a young rider like she is, I mean, you've been dreaming about your first professional podium since the first day you rode.
And with Ty Scott also winning this championship, you see the talent in him. He's a dirt track racer. He ran the Dirt Track Nationals this year as the amateur. Almost won the top rider award from that. He can do it on several different avenues. Where do you see him going? What do you think he should do? And Chris Fillmore is down there. He's the guy that can make things happen for him.
Well, I think with Tyler Scott, he could go flat tracking if he wants. He's a kid that's got a lot of potential. I know he has interest in doing that. But if he's going road racing next year, I'd like to see him move up to the super sport class on a good ride. Always, as I say, it always has to be on a good ride so he can show his potential.
See the Arai sticker or the champion sticker that I don't know how he switches it so fast, but every one of those champions under the right helmet, they had that sticker ablazing across. And there's Kayla with her helmet off, and the BartCon entry, the Kawasaki, definitely got the most passes of the day.
She still can't believe it.
Yaakov in second place ahead of Ben Gloddy, Joe Lamandry, Jack Roach, and David Kolstad had a chance to actually go up there and maybe battle for third in the championship with Gus Rodeo being out of it. He threw it away when he was up front. There's another rider that had a shot that wasn't there at the end.
Yeah, I just made that mistake in turn 13.
Big smiles for Ty Scott, your champion and race winner Yaakov, and Ben Gloddy ran out the podium. He'll send it next door and take it away.
Today's Junior Cup race coverage has been sponsored by Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car or motorcycle insurance. And by Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series.
Back to Barber Motorsports Park as Tyler Scott makes his way to victory lane as the race winner and new SportbikeTrackGear.com Junior Cup champ. And how about this young lady racing her way to second place? And Jason, a great result and 64 hundredths of a second away from her first win. But what a result, beating some incredibly talented riders in Gloddy, Lamandry Jr. Jack Roach finishing fifth. A good ride for Jack Roach, a little lonely in front of Max Van, Blake Davis, Chase Black, and Spencer Humphreys. Let's get right down to Hannah, who has our winner and newly crowned champ, Ty Scott.
Class rookie for the STG Junior Cup, Tyler Scott, and now champion. On behalf of the AMA FIM North America, Mike Burkeen is presenting the #1 plate to our champ. Now, Tyler, I know you wanted to win this championship with a win. Here we are. Tell us how you did it.
Yeah, coming into this race, I didn't really want to win. Well, I did want to win, but David Kolstad, I knew he was fast in the rain, and if he wanted to get out front in the lead, I would let him. But massive thanks to KTM, Chris Fillmore, Arai Helmets, everyone that helped me out, Bob Robbins, my dad, Davey, everyone that helped, my mom at home. I know you're watching. I love you. But it was a great race, and congrats to everyone.
Congratulations to a very happy Tyler Scott, your STG Junior Cup champion for 2021.
What impresses me is the fact that he thought about this before going in and he had a plan.
He did have a plan, and he had pace left underneath him. You could see by the last lap there, he runs a 53.4 and pulled everybody else down into a faster lap time behind him as well. So very deserving champion. He rode tremendous this year, and we'll see what's going to be up for him going into 2022. Hannah?
Rookie, in second place today is Kayla Yaakov. A career first for you. Congratulations. Very emotional for you out there. We saw you celebrating on your cool down lap. How'd you pull this off?
Man, it was crazy. It was such a fun race. I did the best I can to try to go for Tyler, and he was riding great. So I knew that I had the pace in the rain because I've been here in the rain. So it's really cool. I'm just so thankful for my team, the whole Barcon Racing team, and for giving me this opportunity. And everybody for coming out this weekend. And my family, Lucy back home, I know she's watching. And my dad, Coastal Neurology and Spine, HJC Helmets, John Glafey, and Dragonfly Coffee, and everybody who's supported me this year. Thank you all very much.
Big congratulations to Kayla Yaakov. I have a feeling that's not the last time we'll see her on a podium in this series.
I agree with you, Hannah.
14 speaks well, races well. I mean, next year we'll see where she's going to end up. But, you know, if she continues on this path that we're seeing, I mean, we could see a Junior Cup championship in her future if that's the direction she chooses to go. She rode amazing today, GW.
Yeah, all the pieces in place for Yakov, and likes to pass people under hard braking. Let's get right back down to Hannah.
Third place today, rounding out our STG Junior Cup podium, is Benjamin Gloddy. Ben, the race didn't quite go the way you hoped. Take us through that battle for third.
Yeah, that battle for third was kind of crazy. I wasn't expecting that many people to be up there right off the bat. And, you know, we had a crash this morning in Q2, and I didn't get to ride the bike after that, so I wasn't really sure what to expecting. Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do out my whole team, Atlantic Cruising Yachts, Stoney, Tarl, Jamie, everybody over there, my whole family, a bunch of them are out here. Thank you guys for coming. The whole American Super Camp crew, Arai Helmets, everybody that helps me out. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Benjamin Gloddy, guys.
I think really overall you're looking back on a good season for Benjamin Gloddy, and his future is bright in MotoAmerica.
Oh, there's no question, and he's a good kid, rides tremendous, really mistake-free throughout the season. Always was trying to take the fight to Ty Scott, and again, another kid that I'm really looking forward to watch what he decides to do with his future going into next year and beyond.
Well, let's take a look at those championship standings. Only 25 points left in this championship for 2021, and you can see there's more than that between Ty Scott and Ben Gloddy. Gus Rodeo holding off the advancement of David Kolstad, as both those riders were out in this one. Kayla Yakov, half a season basically in 9th place, and quite an exciting championship. Well, Jason, thinking about what's coming up next for SportbikeTrackGear.com Junior Cup, what are you thinking about the next race?
Well, I think if we get weather like we had tomorrow, there's going to be a number of kids that were out there for their first time in those kind of conditions, as treacherous as they were, and they're going to have that experience to go back on. They'll be able to make some changes tonight maybe to help them get a little bit closer to those lead group tomorrow. For Dave Kolstad, he's going to be looking for a little redemption. Him and Gus Rodeo are still battling for third spot, so there's still a lot to play for tomorrow when we watch these kids go back out and go at it again.
Yeah, David Kolstad, who was our early race leader, was able to pick it up and finish 10th in this race, so good job by David Kolstad. Well, interesting day of racing, and we are happy to do it one more time for SportbikeTrackGear.com Junior Cup. For Hannah Lopa and Jason Pridmore, I'm Greg White. We'll see you for the next one. Well, Rod.